Yeah, on to the next game. Obviously, having time to reflect on the game and learn from the film against Texas Tech. Proud of how hard the guys played. Obviously, didn't do enough to put ourselves in a position to gain a victory, but I appreciate the effort and the willingness to be physical. So that was there, but way too many mistakes for us to be in a position to come back in that game and to put ourselves in a position to have a right to earn the victory. But good opportunity for us to learn, and so we'll definitely learn from the game. I've said it before: to stay humble and stay hungry. And unfortunately, when you experience a loss like this, it makes it easier to be humble and hungry. And so we'll bank on that, and then we'll also bank on the opportunity that we can still learn from it, and we can still play better football. I just did feel like we played our best, and that was the worst timing. So that's my job as a head coach, to get these guys better, playing at their best, and I'll try to get that done this week. Looking forward to the matchup against TCU. Sonny Dykes a great coach. I've known him for a long time, and he and his wife Kate are awesome, great people, and amazing leaders. And so Sonny's done a great job with his program, and they're going to, I'm glad that we get to be at home. It seems like we haven't been at home for a while, so good to be home. But I know Sonny will have his team ready to roll, and it's not going to be easy. They're very it's a challenge, but I'm glad we get to be at home and get ready for that game Saturday night. Looking at what they do offensively, defensively, and special teams, they're tough, and they have tons of athleticism all over the place. They're a physical team too, and so this is going to be a battle. We have to take advantage of all the time that we have to prep for them, and looking forward to the matchup. And looking forward to bouncing back from this this bad taste that we have from the last game. But I say that Texas Tech did a great job. They're one of the best teams in the country, and we're looking forward to being better than we were last week and doing that against TCU. They have a great coaching staff too. You can see that Kendall Browse has done a great job with the offense, and then Andy's done a great job. Andy Avalos done a great job with the defense, and the quarterback, we recognize him from before. We played against him, and he can get after you. He throws the ball. So thrown for almost 2,700 yards, and an effective runner, and he can hurt you in a lot of different ways, and he has weapons all over the place. And defensively, they get after you too, so they can make things really, really difficult for us, and we're going to have to be at our best to earn the victory, and looking forward to improving from last week to this weekend. So what questions do you guys have for me?
Our first question will be from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you brought up the film. I'm curious, just were there areas that you found as maybe positives in a game that was maybe otherwise a tough setback? Were there positives in that film review, and if so, what were they?
Yeah, there's a lot of positives. I mean, I probably can. Some of us that we're a physical team, and they brought the physicality to us, and I thought we responded the right way. We just didn't make enough plays, and I think they took advantage of the opportunities that they had. We didn't, So I think in all three phases, we wanted to play complementary football. They did it, we didn't. And then even when we had an opportunity after halftime to make a comeback and then try to find ways to get back in, it's why you can't. You have to start the game faster, and you have to start right from the beginning. And they were not going to let us come back in that game. They've seen enough of that in the film, and so we when we tried to get momentum and try to get back in it just wasn't there. But I mentioned before, the effort was there. Our guys, they work hard. We just got to play smarter, and we got to play better in situation football. And they're a really good team, but there's things that we can do to help ourselves, and I don't think you can make up the difference in one play. But we got to find ways to put positive plays together. I thought we tackled well on defense, and for the most part made plays, got some stops, and we just if you're looking at the game, the average starting position did not go in our favor. We weren't able to flip the field ever, and it's a bad time to shank a punt. And we shanked a couple of them, and so that didn't help us in our field position. The turnovers didn't help us in a lot of different ways, and when it's all said and done, we normally do that to people. They don't usually do that to us, and we're 3-0 deficit of the turnover margin, and then they got after us. I thought at the beginning we had some really good things, stuff in the run, and then to muff punt, bad timing. all that stuff played into it. But the guys kept believing, they kept fighting, and now we'll see if that belief can carry on to this next week. I believe the guys are embarrassed by that game, and I believe that they're gonna be coming in here ready to work today, and I bank on it. That's the type of guys that they are.
Next question from John Kuhn.
Kalani, you mentioned that you need to get off to a faster start against Texas Tech, and looking back at a couple of previous games, it seems like that getting off to slow starts has been an issue for the offense. Do you feel like that's a matter of execution, or is there some other issue behind some of the slow starts that are recurring on offense?
Well, I mean, it's not all slow starts. I mean, there's some games that we did score first, so I think to generalize like that on one game is not correct. I think as a team we need to start faster, and you can put a lot of the attention on the offense, but we won games because of the offense too. We got one game because of special teams, and we won games because of defense. So we need all three phases to work well. That's my job. I think when it started, you don't have to score on every drive, but I think to start the game off, I think we punted and we shanked it. That's not a good way to start the game. And then defense got on the field and forced them in some negative yardage. And looking at it, I mean, we were in a good spot, and then we dropped the punt. And so so the fast start wasn't really anything of an issue. Not everybody scores on the first drive. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens, but if you look at the start right from the beginning, the bad punt was an issue, and so that's not the offense's fault. Sometimes the offense, a good drive is punting the ball and flipping the field, so that didn't help us in our average starting position and field position, and then dropping the punt didn't help us either. And so that puts right then from that first series, first few minutes, we were put in a bad spot, and then I mean, I think we were down 10-0, and they still had negative yards rushing. So then it was about the big plays that we gave up, and when it's all said and done, had a good stop, went into halftime and thought we were in a good position, forced a 3-and-out, a punt in the first drive of the second half, and you could see that we were gaining some momentum, and then it just kind of went to a stop, and those things are, I mean, you tell me, can we fix catches and drop passes, and can we fix better execution? Those are things that we're going to work on, and that'll get us. You can't have those lack of opportunities and missed assignments and mistakes against great teams and expect to be in it in the end. So we're very aware of what the deficiencies are, and then we just got to get to them. And I got to do a better job making sure that we play more sound at the beginning. And every play matters, especially when you talk about putting together stacking plays at the beginning of the game.
Next question from Jay Drew.
Yeah, Kalani, what was Bear's kind of mental makeup after the game, and how do you expect him to respond moving forward?
Yeah, he's going to respond the right way. I mean, he knows that it wasn't his best outing. It wasn't the best for our entire team. But I know one thing about him. He's willing to work. He has great work ethic, and he's going to be better next time. And so we're looking forward to seeing the improvement, and he's committed to doing that.
And I just wanted to ask you about Gennaro Guilford's work with the cornerbacks. I mean, if there was the defense obviously played well enough for you guys to be in the game. What did you take away from their performance?
Yeah,
specifically the secondary.
Well, I don't think they gave up at all. That's what I like, that they kept fighting through it, and we wanted to go to the very end and try to find ways to get it. In fact, in the end of the third quarter, we decided to punt the ball because we felt good about our defense getting out of the drive, and we wanted to pin them deep in the red zone. We've done it before, and we decided to punt it, pin them deep, hopefully get the field position flipped our way where we can make them punt out of their backed up and be in a position where we can have a shorter field for our offense, and then we shank another punt. And so that's not good, So it's hard when you're trying to execute things and things like that break down. And the sad thing is that Sammy hasn't done that all year. He hasn't shanked punts at all, and to have both of his shanks show up here in this game is unfortunate. But regardless, the defense kept playing, and those guys never gave up. And there's no finger pointing here. In fact, with all three phases, those guys know they got to work together. We'll circle the wagons. We understand what's being said outside. We never listened to it before, and if we did, now this is the time to not listen to it. So we'll circle the wagons, get back to work, and that's the remedy. Got to get back to work and figure this thing out. And we're still in a good position, though. I want to. These guys have worked really hard. We're in a really good spot where we can still control our destiny, and the destiny starts with this week, learning from the game over the weekend, and then getting it over with, and knowing that we got to go to work, and then seeing ourselves perform much better this weekend.
Next question from Jake Hatch.
Yeah, Kalani, how much concern do you have about special teams being a recurring issue? The muffs that Parker's had, some ill-advised returns, that type of stuff.
Yeah, all the things that we know we can do better. Yeah, so those are fixable though. We'll work on it and getting fixed. That just it's stuff that we can fix, guys. It's not like rocket science or anything. We just got to work more at it and be more efficient and try to find our guys to be in a more confident position to make those plays.
And it seemed in the first half you guys had more success running the football between the tackles. What changed there, in your opinion?
I don't know. I think maybe some missed assignments, and then I think it was Texas Tech's attempt to just not allow us to have any positive yards and try to take away the run game from us. And they were keen on that. Even the quarterback scrambling, they were positioned for that. And then when we had opportunities to make plays, it's like the missed catches. Those were deadly. So all those plays, it's weird because in this position you don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, but you need to address the things that actually help turn the game against us. The mistakes. Otherwise, how are you supposed to improve? And so there's no hiding around it. Like I'm with you guys, I got to be positive about what we're doing because it's not like the guys went out there and made mistakes on purpose, but they have to own up to it, and everybody's got to be held accountable for all the mistakes that were made, and that's for myself, the coaches, and the players.
Next question from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, 2 years ago, you faced Josh Hoover and TCU, and he had a pretty big day, and it was kind of like his breakout performance. Where do you think Josh Hoover's evolved since that, 2 years ago when you first faced him to now getting ready for Saturday?
Yeah, he's even more deadlier. Now he has more experience, and he's got he understands the offense. You see him making checks. He's just a veteran now. Back then, we were hoping that maybe him being new to the scene and inexperienced would be in our advantage, and it wasn't. So now he's a much better quarterback, and you see in the way he distributes the ball to all different receivers, the way that they run the ball, the way that he reads RPOs, and I mean he's a really good quarterback, coached really well, and so this isn't going to be easy, but that didn't go well for us a couple of years ago, and we remember that, so we're going to have to find ways to be better than we were against him the first time around, and we get to have him at home, which is going to be helpful for us.
Does TCU's offense, and I ask this because you guys face a lot of different looks in the Big 12, but is there anyone that you faced already that they kind of remind you of offensively that you've seen this season?
Well, the thing is they do things differently where they can run the ball if they want, and they can pass the ball every down if they want to. I think it's not like you're just going to go out there and impose your will on them. They have different ways to attack you, and they can throw the ball downfield. They can. He's an accurate thrower where he can thread the needle if he needs to. He doesn't need to make big time throws right away. He's an accurate arm. He can throw across the field, things like that. So. I think they're a complete offense where they can do a lot of different things. We have to be a complete defense and defend it all, and that's easier said than done. That's why teams that are coached by Sonny Dykes usually find ways to score a lot of points. And so, and when all the attention goes to the offense, you forget that their defense is effective too, and they can get after you too. And then, they're a well-coached team, man. The coaches, I've known them for years, and those guys have amazing reputations. And there's a reason why those guys played for a national championship a couple of years ago.
All right, that'll be our last question. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, guys, appreciate it.